All right, let's create a mechanism to store um, user state information. So last time we wrote a note, create a new ETS table for a space server so we can manage member state about the microphone, nickname, avatar, so that when a new user joins the space, we can tell them all about the existing members in the space. Okay, so let's go to space server. This is the server that creates an ETS table when the gen server is created. So do start link OK and the slug, and it's handled by OK slug. In here we create an ets ref. We're going to need two ets refs. So one's maybe member position updated with one frequency, and then another one is member state. Okay, so let's call it, so this one was called member movements. Let's call this member movements or member position rotation. Yeah, because we have hand movement. Well, yeah, let's call it member movements. Yeah, member movements. Everything about movement. And slug is slug, and we'll do member movements. Member movements. And we'll also create one for member state. And it should be member states because it's a table for everyone. Member states. Member states. It's a set, it's public, we'll read and write concurrency, and member states, member states. So we create it when the channel is, when the gen server is initialized. And let's see, you can get the summary, and then you can get the ETS ref. So maybe we'll just give them both back. So we can give back a tuple. So we can say, let's replace get ETS ref and let's change that to get ETS refs. So here we'll give back tuple of state and member movements and member of state, member states. These two references there. Okay, handle timeout. All right. I'm surprised they're safe call. Okay, so this has to be ETS refs to get back both of these. So ETS ref, ETS ref. Become ETS refs. Okay, let's change that, replace all, and replace the one with two S's with just this. Okay, so find all the places where we're using it. So space server in presence. When you fetch a space's presence, we'll want to get both things. So what happens here? You get a reference. So this is two things now. So one is member movements, member movements, and member states. ETS tab to list using member movements. Reduce, and then over presences. If the map has key presences, then put that as pos-rot. And what else do we want to put in there? So we can put in there something else that you look up by the member ID. Which is what? So look up put in presences of the member ID inside metas, yeah. And what is this? Oh, you're going to replace meta. Oh, okay, so meta, you're going to put into meta pos-rot. Okay, put something else into meta then. And I guess state. And the state is get member state given the, let's see, this is member states and the member ID. Make a function, define get member state, member states, and member ID. Here we'll use ETS lookup from member states, and you'll get the member ID, and that's the value. Which needs to be a tuple, something in a map. Okay. And let's see what happens with space channel. We'll do after join. Okay, so after join, we'll get the case that you get is member movements. So member movements and member states. If that is the result, then you'll insert into member movements that business. Push present state. Push socket present state present list socket. Assign is a socket. Why do we need this? Socket assigns handle camera movement. Okay, so we use it in other places. After we do after join, we'll put this as member movements is member movements. But let's also do member states, member states. So if we're terminating, we'll do, okay, so we should already have that, these two things, so we just need to delete them. Oh, but we just want to delete ourselves, right? So we can say if socket assigns member movements, then copy and paste, and we just do s delete socket assigns member movements and the member ID. We'll do the same thing for socket assigns member states. Member states. Do that. This can crash, in which case what happens? Just say server lost, I guess. Is there a try? Try and rescue? How do you do try catch? Elixir try catch. Try catch rescue. Try do rescue. Okay, so where else are we using it? The text here. Save call. Yeah, okay. Handle call. Okay. Presence. Okay, after that. Commented out stuff. Here in space channel. This is after join. Okay. I think we are all good on that. Sorry. Alright, so we're creating a new ETS table for the space server so we can store member state. Alright, so when are we going to store the state? Maybe when you have the microphone. Let's first see if anything's broken. Okay, I think the previous behavior is retained. Should be in there. Let's see. The XR dot space server dot what now? We should get rid of the whole, well, it will tear down the whole thing because it is set to this one, I think. It's linked to whatever process created it. So we can just say get ETS. Okay, great, 2 ETS. And so the first one would be movement, and equal that, and so we can do ETS to list movement, and yeah, looks like it's in there. Now what? Okay, so now we have a place where we can store stuff. And on space channel, space channel, yeah, we delete that. Is there any entry for the second one? So if we go like this is the states. I'll just do this on spaces for states. Got nothing. What happens if we do ETS delete states and whatever? Okay, just not there. Doesn't raise an error, which is fine. Okay, now what? Alright, let's say somebody turns on a microphone. So we've got member manager, managing estates. You're listening for somebody turning on a microphone. So you update member. So anytime you update self, why don't you just broadcast this? So you can just broadcast. This dot channel dot push could say member state. Member state changed. And we'll give it payload that has member ID, which will be this member ID, and it will be new state. This will be member state for member ID. Oh, but we only want to do this if we're changing ourselves. So if member ID is equal to this, orchestrator member ID. Do we have our own member ID? We don't. The initial state, yep, okay. So we'll be pushing this in to space channel, which should cause a crash because we're not handling this. So let's go to space channel and simply handle this. Handle camera moved. Actually, do we need the member ID? Since we're sending to space channel and we only broadcast that we ourselves are moving, we don't need the member ID. We can just send the state, this member state for member ID. So this goes to space channel and we'll handle in this, and then this will be new state. And what we want to do is we just want to store it. So we'll say no reply, and we'll do let's insert into socket assigns member states with the member ID, which is socket assigns member ID, and the value is a tuple of that and an object which is new state. Okay. So let's see what happens if you just kind of unmute yourself. Okay, we receive this kind of object, which is fine. And if we were to inspect the states, tap to the states, nice. So I got mic preference on. And if we were to toggle this off, we get mic preference off. Okay. So we pushed it into the channel, and we could broadcast this. So we want to broadcast to everyone but self. So we do broadcast socket event becomes member state. And the state. Let's see, we are pushing member state changed. Can we receive member state changed as well? Push and then member, I was getting member state changed. And then member state updated. It's almost like one is a commit, kind of like in Rails. So you have update, save, update, commit, create. I don't know, let's put updated for now because I don't want to use the same label. So we broadcast this, and we can listen to that in Member Manager. So we can say channel on. this one we do need the member ID, otherwise we don't know who's being updated. So go back to space channel. This will have to be like this. So we have member ID will be socket assigns member ID, and then new state, that. So if you receive something like that, I think we should just use all snake case arguments. This channel on member state updated. Yeah, so it'd be this. What do we have something for member? Yeah, member state. Member state dot what? And then the key. So this is the payload. So you'll say payload dot member ID equal payload new state. So if somebody else mutes or unmutes the mic, we'll get, we're updating our state here. On present state, yeah. But how do we, then we'll have to call something to say that there's a new member state, right? Or we'll just have to make some observation here. What was WebRTC subscribing to? WebRTC manager not doing anything right now, and that, I think that was the tricky business, is that when we're updating a state over here, we might want to just know what the complete new state is, which again brings us back into, we could just send that whole object down as, here's a new thing. Yeah, I kind of feel like you still need that. That's how you'll observe, because you'll count over them. But if you have a large number of you could just say member state updated and then just go fetch it, and then storage wise you wouldn't have to store it twice, which I think works just as well. Yeah, I think you could just provide a signal. So you could have member states updated, and it's a subject of any, really. So anytime you update self, we'll do this. This states updated next, and this one. I guess you could change this to be more meaningful. So it's Boolean for self or not. Subject of so if you update yourself, maybe we'll just say it's false. We'll say it's true. Not very well documented though, but let's see how far we can get with it. And so now in WebRTC Manager, we can comment this, comment this. Whoops. So our join condition, so we need to know this dot orchestrator member manager dot member states updated. So we want to subscribe. And every time there's a new message, which we don't care what it is, we'll just say we'll create a new stream. But first, let's just pipe out the message. Let's just do console log this orchestrator member manager member state. It should be member states, but WebRTC observing state. So let's open up the console log, join that one. So if I unmute, this. Yeah, mic preferences on. Do that. Mic preferences off. And if somebody else joins, got a crash here. JSON encoder not implemented for that thing. Of type tuple. Ooh, okay. We came back with a tuple. That is because, let's see. Go back to the space channel and we're putting something state in member state changed and broadcast from so we put that directly in. The broadcast that did all broadcast member state changed. In Phoenix channel server push, server 240, space channel 66. What is this? After join, push, present state. Okay. Okay, and presence. We wanted to show something about, right, get member state, lookup. So what is the lookup? Let's do this again. Is this. So that's lookup. If you went into states and then asked for the key BGYC21, check it back. It gives back this. Okay, so we don't know how to serialize this. State, so there ETS lookup, what does that do? Key lookup, we just do lookup, it gives you, alright, match, select. I think lookup is fine, but we don't want this array. Do a case on this. Case that, and if this matches a list, a tuple, and member ID and payload, then return payload. Any other case, just return null. Yeah. If I unmute from the other side, bam, we're getting the other side mic is on. If I do this, I get both sides mic is on. Great. If I do this, it should kill the data. Oh, didn't get a new observing state, so we gotta leave. But what does that do for this? Okay, that is good. But the member manager must update the member states array as well, object as well. So if we get present state, that just creates an entry in state. And then if we get presence diff, okay, diff is doing this. In which case, if there's any leaves, we'll want to get rid of these as well. This dot and member state. Just delete the ID, and then do to update yourself. I don't know. Could be anybody. I should just switch that back to any. It's not meaningful right now. So then what? Oh, okay. So if somebody joins from another channel, what does the data say? Nothing in here. Nothing in there, huh? Okay, so join. Yeah, it didn't actually establish what the initial value was, so it didn't send anything. So we'll want to do this member state, and then after you join, send your own state. Maybe you don't do this at first. What you do is you wait for this, now you go signal hub on, after space channel connected. Then we do this dot member update member with ourselves, this orchestrator member ID, and value is Alright, we'll just set it directly, and then we'll do a broadcast. So we'll do this member state equals this my initial state, and we'll do broadcast it. So when we join initially, we'll send it to everyone else. This orchestrator member ID equal, and we'll send off was updated. No. We'll send channel push. So as soon as I join now, I should see something in there. This one, and then if I join on the other side, I'll have two of them. And I have two of them there. And then if one of them logs out, I'll get one of them. So it's working out. So we can manipulate this into a message that is a new kind of signal. So we could say pipe, filter. No, we just want to map. We want to change it from one type of thing to another. So we'll do map. And data, and we're going to return something to add the map. What we'll do is we don't actually care what the value of that thing is. We want this orchestrator member manager dot what do you call member state, and we want to reduce so we want to iterate all over the object keys. So object keys, or is there a better way of iterating? So JS iterate over object. Iterate object entries, and you get key value pairs for of object entries. Object entries method returns an array. Okay, so you could do reduce object entries. Object entries, which is this, reduce with a function of key, which is the member ID, and state, and the accumulator will be this. And reduce, I think, needs a previous value and the current value. JS reduce initial value, previous value, current value. Okay, so previous value is the accumulator, current value is that. Current value is what's wrong with this? Left side of comma operator as. Okay, I think you're just saying it's not used. So we need to return something. Can we just say that this is Okay, so we want to know unmuted members. So if we just return 0, complaining here, saying these things are unused. Let's return 0, but also console log entry. Give me entry. So I need to know myself. So if I join, I need to know, yeah, that can't be, this is here. Okay, but I didn't get a broadcast. Oh, because I did a broadcast from. Yeah, you don't need to broadcast over at the wire, but you do need to do push member state change to everyone else, and then you do need to do these member states updated for yourself. So now you'll get it. Didn't get it. Member states updated. Push it there, and then member states updated. Oh, well, member states updated, and we need to just console log something here. Console log and this orchestrator member manager dot member state. Where is it? Oh, we do need to subscribe. There we go. One and okay. So it's an array. Okay. So we get a member ID and a state. And if state.mic preference is on, then return 1. Else, return 0. And that this will return a sum, so then you return this, and then you'll print this out. unmic count, and you say console log unmic count is unmic count. Unmic count is 0. Mute myself. Unmic count is 1. And go to Firefox. I'm join. Allow. Unmic count is 0. Why did we get 0? So that is wrong. It should have stayed at 1. Oh, wait. Duh. We need to return the accumulator plus 1. Otherwise, just return the accumulator. Duh, what am I doing? So unmic count is 0. Unmic count is 1. Unmic count is still 1. Unmute. Unmic count is 2. Again, unmic count is 1. Unmic count is 0. Very good. Like that works. So the join conditions, the unmic count, unmuted. What is unmic? It should be unmute. Unmute count. Okay, if the unmute count is greater than 0 and member count. So we also need the member count. So we need to count 2 things. So we can just put that in an object. So, whoops. Unmiked. Unmute count starts with 0, and member count start with 0. And for everybody, okay, so you'll return, or your accumulator will be accumulator dot unmute count will equal. It's probably better if you return a new object, so we can return accumulator with unmute count. The accumulator unmute count plus 1. And also member count is accumulator member count plus 1. And for the case where the microphone isn't on, do the same thing, but just leave out the unmute count part, but the member still goes up. And now the result is, we'll just print out the result. So if we join unmute count, member count, but if I unmute, now it's 1 and 1. If you join on the other side, now it's 2 and 1. If you unmute, it'll be 2 and 2. Mute again, 1. And if I log out, 1 and 1. And 0. Very good. So then you can say if result dot unmute count is greater than 0 and result member count greater than 1, then join web RTC channel, else also log unjoin web RTC channel. Alright, so if I'm here, unjoin or no need to join, do this, still don't need to join, nobody else can listen, and you bring in Firefox. Since that person over there is unpublishing, as soon as I join, both sides need to join. If I join, allow. Yeah, you gotta join over here, and over here you got a unjoin. Log manager, output 0 is undefined. We should make sure that log manager never. Okay, let's see. Log manager TS. Manager. Which line? On 34. Outputs 0. Is that output? No output in here. This. Okay, so selected output. Selected mic. Let's do this. So if mics is array and array has 1, or So to length. Alright, back to this thing. I join the space, unjoin, join, still says unjoin. Oh yeah, because only one person here. Go over here, join. We got join on one side, and still have unjoin on this side. This, let's see, orchestrator dot member manager member state. Okay, we got a problem here is that we only got ourselves here. So when we joined, because we didn't have the prior, of course, when we join, we need everybody else. And that's when we need the presence state stuff. And if you look at present states, we now have pause rot, and then state, which is all this stuff. So we should react to present state and presence join and add those objects in. Present state Pause rod and state. Pause rod, state. States are null. That's not good. So we could actually set this default on the server side. So we could do this. Presence. You look it up, and if you don't find it, then it's equal to this. Mic pref off. Pref actual audio unpublished. Actual video unpublished. Nickname. I don't know. We might have to send our own nickname here. And raised. Oops, false. So when we join the space, our presence is this, and our state is all that. Okay, we don't have a nickname. Either case, we don't have a nickname. What did we put for the initial defaults of member manager? Nickname. Oh, we just put member ID again? Okay. And we got unjoin. So now we get still unjoin. this side joins. We still get an unjoin because what? This side still doesn't have, this doesn't still, yeah, we weren't storing all that. Okay, so we still got to mess with the logic here. It's like kind of a mess right now. Let's take a break.